They're four wide, ladies and gentlemen, for you, the paying public. We thank each and every one of you for coming out on this Sunday afternoon as we salute our 22 finalists in this National Production Sedan title, A-Main, the 20th anniversary of the Speedway Sedans Australia National Production Sedan title. A division that originated here in the West, and it's being held for the 7th time in WA. Stephen Laidlaw, the only driver in the field that has won a National Production Sedan title in WA previously. He starts from P10 in the V30 Holden Commodore. The two-time WA champion. He's been a national late model champion as well. Kai Blight for Blight's Electrics and Albany Forklifts and Industries, your pole sitter. The 181 Sigma of Barry Rose starting on the outside of the front row. 22 finalists, 40 laps this Sunday afternoon here in Perth. The 20th anniversary of the Speedway Sedans Australia National Production Sedan title. A-Main is underway. And the WA champ and the Holden Commodore will lead him into turn number one. For the first time, straight away the 181 Sigma goes to the bottom side of the racetrack, and Ashley Baker sits in third place. Carl Sayer goes to fourth. He puts Pete Katona Jr. back to fifth, and we've got a stoppage. We're going to have to do that all again. A complete restart has been called. We've got the 40 car of Bay Riley spun down there. And Les Gallagher Corner, the two-time Victorian champion, has brought the caution lights on for the first time in this 40-lap final. So we'll pick him up with a complete restart. 40 laps ahead of our production sedans for this national. He's doing it here in Ellenbrook in 2023. He leads him to the green flag. We're back underway. As they head off into turn number one, Peter Katona, a much better start on this particular occasion. They're nearly three wide for the lead as they exit turn number two. Kyle Sayer puts Ashley Baker back to fifth from Trewern. Richard Cook, Nino Mendez, Drew Ogle and Josh Fraser is the top 10 as they hustle down the back straight into Hawkins Corner for the first of 40 occasions. And it's the WA champion, Kai Blight, who leads the way. One of the all-time superstars of Speedway Sedan racing here in the West. Won many big races, and he's leading the National Production Sedan title, A-Main, here at Ellenbrook from Barry Rose. Kyle Sayer quickly up into third in car number 95 from Bustleton. Peter Katona is fourth, and the Queenslander, Richard Cook, just rolling the bottom of the racetrack nicely early in this one in the Q15 Commodore. Ashley Baker's back to sixth from Trewern. Two-time WA champion Drew Ogle's eighth from Nino Mendez. And the track champion here at Ellenbrook in the Falcon of Josh Fraser rounds out your top 10. And all of a sudden, Kai Blight just skipping away a little bit, pogoing the Commodore into turn number three as I speak. He runs wide, and I think there might be a drama with the Commodore. He loses the race lead to Barry Rose, does Kai Blight. I think there might be a suspension issue with the Blight's Electrics Holden Commodore from Katanning. He runs wide on the exit of turn number two. Here comes the 95 Commodore, Carl Sayer, the former WA champion, ranging up on the current WA champ of Kai Blight. Blight three-quarter track high, trying to go back around the outside of the 181 of Barry Rose. Smoke now starting to come from the 41 of Kai Blight. He continues to work the top shelf on Kyle Sayer. Peter Katona is there, and I think Kai Blight has got some major problems with the Holden Commodore. He's slowing and will not win this afternoon here at Ellenbrook. He's all out of noise and will take his Holden Commodore to the infield very shortly, you would imagine. With 5 down and 35 remaining of the All West Plan Ellenbrook Speedway. It's the 181 Mitsubishi Sigma from the southeastern suburbs of Perth of Barry Rose who leads this one. 95 Carl Sayer is second from Peter Katona. Aidan Trewern now fourth as the first of the interstate drivers. Richard Cook has got some company in the form of Nino Mendez, and Joel Berkeley from P16 is up to seventh early in this one. He's side by side with Drew Ogle. Ashley Baker falling back through the field, and Rod Mazzara. Let's have a look where Rod Mazzara is in the pecking order. He's back in ninth in car number 21, but it's just starting to bunch up a little bit at the front of the field between the 181 Sigma of Barry Rose, the 95 of Carl Sayer, and the 16 of Peter Katona Jr. from Morrow. He sits in third. Trewern is fourth. In car number 12 from Albany's Atwell Park. Mendez fifth from Richard Cook, Drew Ogle. Joel Berkeley is eighth from Rod Mazzara. And rounding out your top 10 in car number 11 from Geraldton is Ashley Baker. But there'll be 8 laps completed this time around in this A-Main for the National Production Sedan title. And it's Barry Rose in the 181 Sigma. He's quick time on the race at 22.414. Leading the Commodore from Bustleton of Kyle Sayer. Peter Katona is third from Aidan Trewern. And Joel Berkeley is the man on the move He's come from P16. He's just lit up the timing screens and he set the fastest time in the race is Joel Berkeley, the 2019 champion. Once again is coming forward in a national title A main. The Nashi Racing Falcon is up to 5th from Mendez. Richard Cook is now back to 7th place from Drew Ogle, Rod Mazzara, and Josh Fraser is your top 10. But Joel Berkeley is hustling here at Ellenbrook. He's coming forward. He's the first of the interstate drivers now. He's inside the top 5 and he's going to work on the top shelf, trying to find a way past Aidan Truone. Good battle between a pair of WA Modified Sedan champions. Aidan Truone winning that race in 2015. Joel Berkeley only 2 weeks ago in Esperance became the Modified Sedan WA champ. Will be 11 laps completed this time around, and the 95 Commodore of Kyle Sayer is now pressuring the 181 of Barry Rose. They come past the start-finish line with 11 completed, 29 laps remaining of the All West Plant Hire, Ellenbrook Speedway. Peter Katona a distant third from behind our 2 leaders. From Aidan Truone, Joel Berkeley is 5th. From Nino Mendez, Richard Cook, Rod Mazzara, Drew Ogle and Josh Fraser your top 10. Ashley Baker is 11th from Jackie Moroney, and Mitch Killeen from the B main is 13th from Stephen Laidlord, and Jamie Graham is the top 15. But it's a race between the two of them up front. The 181 of Barry Rose and the 95 of Kyle Sayer. They've done a lot of production sedan racing against each other over the journey, but this is the biggest of them all. Kyle Sayer to the inside of Barry Rose. They come out of turn number 4 and into the front straight, side by side at the line. 13 down and 27 remaining. Sayer on the inside, Rose on the outside. There was 0.04 of a second between them that last time around. Side by side down the back straight into turn number 3. Sayer on the low line, Rose on the outside through Hawkins Corner. The Holden of Sayer, the Sigma of Barry Rose fighting back. These two West Australians duking it out. Two of the stars of Production Sedan racing here in WA. They've both been a WA champ. They want to become a national champion this afternoon here at Ellenbrook. And Kyle Sayer now has the nose in front. Rose trying to fight back with 15 down and 25 remaining of the All West Plant High Ellenbrook Speedway. We haven't had a stoppage yet, and Kyle Sayer now leads in the Holden Commodore from Bustleton. Rose trying to fight back in the Sigma. He goes to work on the bottom side of the racetrack. Does Barry Rose in the 181, trying to find a way back past Kyle Sayer. These two putting on a classic final here at Ellenbrook. The 20th anniversary of the Speedway Sedans Australia National Production Sedan title. They come out of turn number 4. We're nearly halfway home. 16 down and 24 remaining. It's Sayer and Rose. 0.2 of a second between them that time around. Peter Katona still 3rd. He's falling in the clutches of Aidan Truone and Joel Berkeley, who's done a remarkable job to come from P16 up into 5th. And we're not even halfway through this A main for the Production Sedan national title here in the West. Event number 18 on your program. We've been going for nearly 7 minutes and we have not had a stoppage. 17 down and 23 to run. And two of the all-time greats of this class here in the West, Kyle Sayer and Barry Rose, putting on a great final. Rose to the inside of the 95 Commodore in Hawkins Corner. They exit turn number 4 and come down the front straight here at Ellenbrook before a fantastic crowd on this Sunday afternoon. Rose again looking to the inside of Kyle Sayer as they exit turn number 2 in front of a monster crowd in the RDO WA Ellenbrook Speedway club rooms. Sayer and Rose both been WA champs. Kyle Sayer, the 2022 WA champion, winning in Karratha last year. Barry Rose won at Collie in 2018. Can one of them become the national champion here at Ellenbrook? Peter Katona's got a big challenge on his hands. Joel Berkeley working the top side of the racetrack in the Falcon. Joel Berkeley doesn't have the quickest time of the race anymore. That now belongs to Kyle Sayer with a 22.25. But Joel Berkeley coming to life. He won this event 4 years ago in Hamilton, and he's coming towards his second podium result in a national title in the space of a week. Joel Berkeley is 4th on the outside of Aidan Truone. They're having a great battle for 4th and 5th. Truone on the low line, Berkeley on the outside. And the big Falcon from Queensland of Joel Berkeley might be getting the better of Albany's Aidan Truone. He falls back to 5th. Nino Mendez is a distant 6th from Rod Mazzara. Josh Fraser and Richard Cook battling for 8th, and rounding out the top 10 is Drew Ogle in car number 13 for Mix Auto XM Manjimup. but we're over halfway home. 21 down and 19 remaining, and the little Sigma, it never goes away. It'll always be there right to the end of this one. The 181 is digging on the bottom. They come through Hawkins Corner once again. There'll be 18 laps remaining in one of the all-time great finals of Production Sedan national titles. Kyle Sayer holding off the 181 of Barry Rose, who has a big lunge into Les Kellogg Corner once again. 18 laps remaining. They hustle down the back straight. Can the 181 open the door on the 95 of Kyle Sayer? They come through Hawkins Corner. The crowd are on their feet here in the front straight. They're cheering these two home. Sayer and Rose going at it. The two ex-WA champs. They've got 3 seconds back to Peter Katona, who's got Joel Berkeley going to work. Look at the Queenslander, a multi-time state champion in Production Sedans, to the outside of Peter Katona. They're side by side out of turn number 2. Katona tries to shut the door on the Falcon as they enter turn number 3. And we've got a stoppage, our first stoppage of the race, here on lap number 23. Joel Berkeley and Peter Katona having a great scrap for 3rd and 4th, but this just bunches up the field. We've got one down there stopped in turn number 4. I'll just check who that actually is on our timing screen. Down to this, these remaining 18 laps of the All West Plant High Ellenbrook Speedway. Kyle Sayer, he won the WA title last year in Karratha. He's won many races at this venue, including a couple of RDA Production Sedan Classics. He brings the 95 Commodore from Busselton off turn number 4, gets us back underway. Barry Rose, Peter Katona, and straight away, as you'd well imagine, the Falcon of Joel Berkeley, 3/4 track high, and he might have given up 4th place in the process to car number 12 of Albany's Aidan Trewern. The Total Independent Tyre Service Commodore digging on the bottom, and car number 12 of Trewern, who's had a very storied career in sedan racing here in WA, would love to be on the podium in a national title. He moves up into 4th, puts Berkeley back to 5th as Nino Mendez and Rod Mazzara try to get themselves in the mix for a top 5 finish in their Holden Commodores. As I speak, Mendez to the inside of Joel Berkeley, a great battle for 5th and 6th place. But 16 laps remain as they exit turn 4. And Kyle Sayer put a little bit of a gap between himself and Barry Rose after that stoppage. But the 181 coming back to life. The little Sigma looking to the inside of the big Commodore of Kyle Sayer, who hails out of Busselton in the southwest of WA. He's holding off Barry Rose, Peter Katona, who's been outstanding this weekend. Pete Katona Jr. from Morawar has been 3rd for the vast majority of this 40-lap final. Joel Berkeley again digging on the outside of the 2 Commodores from WA of Aidan Trewern and Nino Mendez. Berkeley falls back to 6th from Mazzara. Josh Razor, Jackie Maroney, and the Queenslander from Gladstone. And Richard Cook rounds out your top 10. But there will be just 14 laps remaining this time around for the driver of car number 95, Kyle Sayer. He exits turn number 4. Barry Rose again looking to the outside, and we've got a stoppage. The yellow lights have come on, and Jamie Graham is the car circulating slowly on the outside of turn number 2. The Commodore from Collie that won a couple of heat races on the opening day of this national title, limping to the infield, and I think the race is done for the driver of the Briggs International Motorsport Commodore. He will join Mitch. There's the 15 laps remaining in this national title A main are set to be completed before a massive crowd on this Sunday afternoon in the northern outskirts of Perth. Kyle Sayer will lead him out of turn 2 and down the back straight. Aidan Trewern going to work on the inside of the 16 of Peter Katona. Those 2 Commodores race their way up into turn 3. Joel Berkeley and Nino Mendez continue their great battle. The back end of the top 5, Rod Mazzara and Josh Razor now just slowly but surely starting to work his way forward. In car number 5, the first of the Falcons. In fact, the second of the Falcons behind Joel Berkeley. The first of the West Australian Falcons is Josh Razor back there in 7th from Rod Mazzara as it's getting willing between Katona and Trewern on the exit of turn number 2. Katona falls back right to about 7th place in the end. Trewern has Mendez and Joel Berkeley to his outside, and the Queenslander all of a sudden is now 3rd in the Q2 Falcon. Trewern back to 4th from Mendez is getting a little bit untidy. Seen to turn number 1. Mazzara on the low line, and Rocket Rod in car number 21 for Crankle Australia is now 5th. He puts Mendez back to 6th. Katona Jr. is 7th from Fraser Maroney. The 2-time WA champion Drew Ogle rounds out the top 10 for 12 laps for Kyle Sayer between himself and a national title victory in Production Sedans. Barry Rose going to work again in the 181 Sigma. Look at it roll the bottom nicely on the exit of turn number 2. The 181 harassing the 95. They enter turn number 3. Can he find a way past? They come through Hawkins Corner. 11 to run. 11 to run of Ellenbrook, and the 181 ranging up alongside the 95. Can he find a way past? The Commodore is barely holding on. Rose gets into the left rear of the Commodore. Down there at Let's Go Old Corner, they made a bit of contact. They exit turn number 2 and head down the back straight into turns 3 and 4 once again. The distance of a heat race to go. Can the 95 hold on? It's Sayer from Rose. Joel Berkeley in the Falcon. Out very wide coming into the front straight. Won't give up third place to Aidan Trewern. Trewern on the bottom side of the racetrack. The number 12 Commodore from Albany's Atwell Park. Trying to get that final spot on the podium from the Queenslander Joel Berkeley. Rod Mazzara is 5th from Katona, Mendez, Fraser, Maroney and Drew Ogle. Bo Riley from the B main is 11th from Ashley Baker, and Richard Cook is 13th. But 9 to run, and we've got a yellow. Look at Stephen Laidlord. Has got a flat right front tyre. Might even be a little bit worse for Stephen Laidlord. He's lost the right front tyre altogether, and it's up by the concrete wall down there in turn number 2. Rotten luck for the 2-time national champion, Stephen Laidlord, who was falling back through the field. In fact, he was 14th prior to losing that right front tyre, Morgan.
Just sheared the studs off the right front. The Independent Motorsports car number 30 out of Victoria of Stephen Lane.
They'll contest this 10-lap run to the finish. The distance of a heat race for Kyle Sayer to hold off the 181 of Barry Rose, and don't discount that Falcon from Queensland of Joel Berkeley. Back underway, Rod Mazzara just a little bit of a slow start for the 21. Gave up a heap of ground to the top 3, and you know the Falcon and Joel Berkeley will try and work the outside of the All West Plan Ellenbrook Speedway to find a way past Rose and Sayer. He enters Hawkins Corner, 3/4 track high, the 2019 national champion in production sedans, trying to find a better racetrack to work with. Mazzara's barely holding on to 4th from Katona. Trewern is 6th, Mendez, Fraser, Jackie Maroney and Drew Ogle still at the back end of the top 10. There's Peter Katona and Rod Mazzara in a great battle for 4th and 5th place as they exit turn number 2 and head down the back straight. But Joel Berkeley, the big Falcon, try as he may, can't find a way past the 181 of Barry Rose at the moment for 2nd. There's 8 to run, and Kyle Sayer, this is giving him a little bit of breathing room between himself and Barry Rose. Joel Berkeley continue to bang the cushion on the exit at turn 2, trying to find a way past. He's come from P16 as Joel Berkeley to be up in 3rd place. He's on the outside in Hawkins Corner, trying to run down the top 2, which are both West Australians. It's Kyle Sayer from Barry Rose. 7 laps remaining. 7 to run on the All West Plan Ellenbrook Speedway, and all of a sudden Barry Rose is challenging the leader once again. Kyle Sayer on the exit of turn number 2. They're cheering here in the main straight. The crowd are on their feet. The Speedway Sedans Australia National Production Sedan title coming down to the wire here in the West. And Barry Rose, the Sigma, like it always does. It bangs on the door late in big races. And the 181 going to work. He's on the back bumper of Kyle Sayer. They exit turn number 2. 5.5 to run. Berkeley's out of this one, you would say. He needs to make up a lot of ground. As I speak, the Falcon has a big lunge into Hawkins Corner. 5 laps remaining. Can Kyle Sayer hold off the 181? They exit turn number 4 and come down the front straight here at the All West Plan Ellenbrook Speedway. Mazzara and Katona still going at it for 4th place in their Commodores. From Mendez, Trewern, Fraser, Ogle is now 9th, and Jackie Maroney in car number 78 from Esperance rounds out the top 10. But out of turn number 4, 4 to run. 4 to run of Ellenbrook for Kyle Sayer, a multiple RDA Production Sedan Classic champion. He's holding off another former Production Sedan Classic champion in Barry Rose. Joel Berkeley is still not out of this one in the Falcon. He's coming big time as the Q2. Another big lunge into Hawkins Corner. There'll be 3 to run. 3 to run for the Bustleton Bullet. Kyle Sayer, the Holden Commodore. He won the state title in Karratha last year. Can he become the national champion this afternoon, on this Sunday afternoon here at Ellenbrook? It's Sayer from Rose, Berkeley. Nino Mendez is now 4th. He takes it away from Rod Mazzara. Peter Katona is 6th. From Trewern, Drew Ogle, Josh Fraser and Jackie Maroney, the top 10. But just 2 laps remaining. 2 to run. Does the 181 have something for the 95 of Kyle Sayer? They enter turn number 1 for the second last occasion. There's about half a car length, you would say. It was 0.4 of a second that last time around. Rose is throwing everything at car number 95. of Kyle Sayer. A big look to the inside. They come through Hawkins corner. The 181 to the inside of Kyle Sayer. Down the front straight. Ian Crew gives them the white flag. Does the 181 have something for the 95? They exit turn number 2 for the final time. Here he comes, race fans. The 181 Sigma. To the outside of Kyle Sayers. They enter turn number 3. To the inside through Hawkins corner for the final time. They exit turn number 4, and Kyle Sayer will just hold on and become the National Production Sedan champion. From Barry Rose by 0.3 of a second. Joel Berkeley, Gallen in third. From Nino Mendez, Peter Katona will be 5th. From Aidan Trawoon, Drew Ogle, Rod Mazzara fell back to 8th on the final lap. From Josh Razor and Jackie Maroney. Well, what a final we've seen here at Ellenbrook. A fascinating event between two of the all-time greats of production sedan racing in WA, and Kyle Sayer and Barry Rose. And car number 95 from Bustleton here in WA, Kyle Sayer becomes the new National Production Sedan champion. The Coastal Cleans Southwest Ivex Industries Holden Commodore gets it done over the 40 laps. Aidan Trawoon 6th from Drew Ogle, Rod Mazzara, Josh Fraser and Jackie Maroney. But make plenty of noise for him as he celebrates over in turn number 2. Car number 95 from Bustleton. He won the state title last year in Karratha. Didn't have the title defence he would have liked earlier in the year at Manjimup, but has rebounded with the biggest win of his career, a national title here in Western Australia. Car number 95 of Kyle Sayer. Give him a round of applause over there on the back straight in the pit area. He's absolutely pumped, as you would imagine. He held off Barry Rose, an almighty challenge from the driver of car number 181. Threw everything at Kyle Sayer. And Joel Berkeley from P16 gets his second podium result on a national title.
What a season it's been. And as he gets out of the car, it's time to get him on the roof, ladies and gentlemen. Your new Australian champion goes to Kyle Sayer. So many times we did this for the bridesmaid. Today, Kyle Sayer, we get to enjoy the fruits of a national title.
Yeah, didn't think we'd ever. Hang on, please. Didn't think we'd ever get one, but yeah, we did.
Felt like 2019 all over again. 2 blue cars going at it. This time you found that arc, you were able to get onto the inside, and you now are the national champion.
Yeah, I don't think I could have held him off for many more laps. That was hard work, but yeah, last time I was chasing Baz, so at least he had to chase me this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about it again for your national champion, Kyle Sayer? We'll move on to our official formalities.